Hi, everyone.
As it should have been. Are we unmuted now? Yes. All right.
Hey, Sarah.
I'm just 1 second.
Hi.
I need to open a couple copies of the packet actually, so I can scroll around and wait and take notes. And we have a quorum and it's 7:30, so let's call the Ad Hoc Community Preservation Act Study Committee order. With the roll call. Starting on Zoom, Sarah,
Here.
Margaret,
Here.
Martha,
Here.
Sandy here, and Joe Carnahan here. I did hear that Carlo was at the rec meeting, so he will be joining whenever that gets out. But, hard to pick that.
Is Kate coming?
Kate is
she's
undoubtedly at the rec
committee
meeting as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
All
right,
righty.
that's right.
Okay.
So this is who we've got for now. So all right. So agenda we have, opportunity for public comment. I don't know if you would like to make a comment.
Sure.
As a member of the public.
Karen Herrick, Reading Select Board. I would just like to thank this committee for seeing you at town meeting. I see committee members everywhere, popping up everywhere, and I'm just like, I really appreciate the effort you're putting into this, and reading some of your meeting minutes too. I'm like, anyway, keep up the good work and thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
So liaison reports. People have reports from their respective committees. This is separate from outreach. We'll talk about outreach in a second. Probably not, 'cause it's only been 2 weeks. Here. All right. Sarah, I did not prepare an example of a CPA project. I don't know if you happen to already have another one handy. If not, I think you did two last time. We could skip.
Yeah, I think I did, but yeah.
All right, we'll count it as that. Unless anyone else has been doing that on that.
I did not dig one up.
It's a cool idea. I think we've gotten a good example of the range of things that are out there.
Well, hold on. You know what? Let me just go to their
town.
their Facebook page where they always post the latest and greatest.
Whatever's the latest post on the Community Preservation Coalition Facebook page. All right.
Yeah.
And Margaret says she knows one from Watertown.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Well, of course, it's housing related. So Watertown is looking to create a new home that will help house developmentally disabled adults in partnership with Beaverbrook staff out of Waltham. And they have applied for CPA funds to support their effort to build that 5-bedroom home.
So that's still the application process. That's not been.
It should have been, I don't, being voted on. We did it, actually, it did go to city council last weeks ago for their review.
But they are a city, so they would vote on it at city council rather than waiting for an April town meeting.
So it did get voted last week.
And it's housing for disabled people, but I presume it's fitting under the affordable housing.
Because everybody would be income eligible.
Mhm.
And it's under, it's an under served population, and it's at risk. And so the property will be owned by the Watertown Housing Authority or one of its affiliates, and then run by a specialty program to provide income eligible adults who otherwise would be at risk.
I just see one. I grew up in Westford, and recently the Jack Walsh tennis courts, which weren't too far from where I lived, are being renovated thanks to a $400,000 Community Preservation Act to make the space available for the public to enjoy. They will be adding new basketball courts and 4 new pickleball courts to the tennis courts.
I saw that coming.
So, and does that, I've always been under the impression that it was somewhat limited in that they didn't want to renovate projects, but is that an example of if they're actually also renovating existing courts as well, or is it all just the new stuff?
I believe with recreation stuff, as long as it's actually open space.
Yeah.
So obviously outdoors, inside the field house.
Okay.
That it would be too soon. Sorry.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
No, yeah,
That's good to know.
but yeah, it's I think it's pretty open-ended in terms of
Oh, that's
ball
great.
fields, tennis
That's
courts,
terrific.
pickleball courts.
Okay, thanks.
So
And it's
But
renovation and
Renovation.
new building.
Yes.
Yeah.
For instance, our Barrows tennis courts, town meeting appropriates $200, 200,000 to
Yeah,
renovate them.
basketball
They're not
courts.
renovated yet.
No.
Tennis.
It got patched. It's, somebody told me that was done, which we're now off topic. But anyway, I used to
Mhm.
barely, so I tripped over the holes of the tennis courts, literally. All right, let's keep with the agenda moving because I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about when it comes to the report. But before that, outreach. There was a Bolt meeting. How did that go?
Sarah and I went. I think the presentation went well. We
Yeah.
finished within our 15 minutes. I think the questions went a minute over 15, but we did really well at keeping to the time.
Mhm. Yep.
Excellent. Any?
Now that we're done, I feel like we've really nailed how to do our spiel.
That's usually how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Well, we still have recreation to do.
oh,
So we're
okay.
not really done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if the select board passes it, we'll still probably have more people to talk to.
We certainly
Okay.
can talk.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't remember any specific questions they had for us. Do you, Sarah?
It's funny. They only had, I think, 2 questions and, oh, I know. They wanted to know what the CPA committee would be comprised of, like who would be the people and how would they be selected? And so I did research that from the website and I sent all that information to the Board of Trustees just so they could know. It was interesting. So like, yeah. Certain members will be from all the respective committees, and there'll be 4 people, I think, from the town, from various things, and they're all, and some towns actually have elections for CPA at large members, and some towns, the volunteer board, vets them.
I'd say you can find at least some of that information in the draft CPA report, I believe.
No, well,
So,
yay,
Yeah, I
Margaret,
think-
yay, Margaret.
yes, all
I
right.
think the draft CPA report specifically said like the Conservation Commission representative would be appointed by the Conservation Commission. And same
Okay.
thing, housing and historical.
Yeah, no, the ex officio representatives are generally appointed by
Yes.
the committee that they represent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But yes, you have the option to add, as Sarah was saying, you could have other people. And those people could be appointed by the select board, by the volunteer appointment committee, by the town meeting moderator, like you name it, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's restricted.
okay.
We're elected, apparently, that's really,
mhm. I know, well, maybe those are the communities that have 3%. They have a lot of money, so,
yeah, I was gonna say, you got 3% and it's a big community, it might be.
yeah. Yeah,
Something to put to a vote.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Okay, anything else on the subject of outreach? Obviously, we are not presenting to rec because they're a little busy this evening. And we'll try to catch up with them in January. Don't think there's been any further development on actually getting onto the select board agenda. I haven't formally asked to get on the agenda yet because we haven't finished the report yet, but we're real close. I think I reported back to this group that I got a couple emails back from select board people, mostly with feedback rather than suggestions for what we should include, both positive and negative feedback about CPA. So,
Do you have a sense of how much lead time we need to get on the select board agenda? You know, even if we're not finished our report, we might want to ask now if it's a month delay to get on the agenda.
I was like, remember to ask, what's your sense of that?
My sense is we're not that overloaded, other than the fact that we have to participate in the budget meetings, but it shouldn't take very long, but
Right.
I think that's a great idea, just like get it out there now.
You all have like 4 meetings in 2 weeks because of the budget in December. It's a little more impressive you joined us, thank you. Because you
This is more
spent a lot of quality time in this building in the last few weeks. All right, cool.
What would be our target date? At this point, however rough and ready it might be, beginning of February.
I mean, I would we can do late January, that seems, you know,
Just trying to figure out how much time we have in order to work the report before we really want to put it out there.
I think, yeah, I mean, not, once we get into late February, we're on February vacation. And also that's when the finance committee starts doing budget meetings, so I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. So.
When does the warrant close for town meeting? Because it seems like that's.
60 days before, so third week in April minus 60 days.
So third week in February,
March 10th.
March 10th? Oh,
Our annual town meeting.
Interesting.
that's less than 60.
Mistaken, maybe it's
It
not
might
60 days for the
be-
warrant.
60 days might be the magic number for
Elections?
calling an election.
Yeah,
That is,
I thought it was, we
60
usually do it in
days.
September though, we close the warrant in September for November usually. And then we open it 17 times and add on everything that we need to back on.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know.
all right.
We'll have to find
But that's worth looking up. I can take a,
I'll work on Dr. Google, I'll add value on here.
okay.
I think that's the key is, making sure we get it to the select board in time for them to do whatever actions they need to do and ample time, because we don't wanna.
we've had so much time, it would really be a shame to
If we somehow miss it,
line.
oh my God, I can't even contemplate.
I think it's on the town works, let me just do that while you guys keep going.
Sure. All right,
So I'm gonna suggest we aim for late January.
that was my thought as well, just to give ourselves a little bit of margin for error. And I mean, there are other, not that it would take super long, but hypothetically, we wanted to put it on,
Does Jackie have?
so this has the last day to close warrant.
That's what I was looking for, who did that? You did? Good job. No,
March 10th, there you go, all
there you
right.
go, okay.
Why do we have
That
a
must
quick
be-
check?
That must be 45 days then, or something like that.
45 days, there you go,
It can't be.
okay.
March 10th. Okay, so as long as we got it done before the end of February, we'd be good.
But I don't want to push it.
I think we wanna give them a
I've got-
month to
I've
be
got
able
some-
to,
Yeah, and in case they ask us to come back with a revision.
And they ask us to come back, that's true. There's also the possibility of, hypothetically, if the select board did not put it on the warrant, presumably there would be a window for it to do a citizen's petition to put something on the warrant.
Or some other committee.
Do you wanna look at what I just sent you for the charter? It's not long. I looked it up today for you guys.
We were just talking about options.
Oh,
If for some reason it didn't get passed through the select board,
okay.
whether there would be another way short of a petition.
Also, agenda wise, let's move on to the report on the merits of CPA methods of adoption. You're talking methods of adoption. Please keep talking.
Well, it's just a question, and Karen found a provision that on its face seems to answer it. Doesn't just, trying to bring it up, doesn't discriminate between different types of committees. It's concerned that a study committee might not have that power or authority of a standing committee.
Wow, interesting.
For example, FinCom, in as much as a lot of this has to do with dollars and cents and how it's raised and spent. How efficiently that's done under CPA, but perhaps not as efficiently on CPA. But they might be, and any number of other committees who have sort of a substantive interest in the subject matter of CPA. If likewise put it out.
It occurs to me, I'm curious to, the authority on this is presumably Alan and Laura, so.
It
So,
says, it says any board or committee, it doesn't say
Interesting.
standing.
all right,
It's always good to look back.
yeah,
Also says 2 or more select board, so you just need 2 board of selectmen members. So this is kind of old, so pretty sure I'm looking at the right one, but.
it has been, I'm about to say, we've all got a copy of the one that town meeting approved, but the one that town meeting approved, of course, is not changed until we send it to voters anyway, but.
So 2 board of select board members could get something on the warrant. It doesn't have to be a majority of the select board.
Because what I said when we were talking, I said, I already know, if a committee or a board brings something forward, the select board, it's a pass through, that's what our charter says.
So we
And
don't
then we're
have
just
to
trying to verify
convince
it.
the 5 of you.
Yeah.
We just,
You check with Laura, I think that's always a good idea.
I will take the AI to check with Laura and Alan on this question, but you know, whether like, I mean, because I think putting things on the devil's advocate would say, bringing this to town meeting wasn't in our charge, just reporting, so like, can a committee bring something to town meeting if bringing things to town meeting isn't explicitly in the charge? I'll ask.
and
I'm
it's
trying to
certainly-
anticipate counter arguments here for why this might be not be considered proper.
Yeah, that's why it's like,
I wanna keep
you
this.
need to have a mechanism to bypass the select board when they're being silly.
We do.
It's hard to guarantee.
We already, yeah, 10 signatures will do it also. That's-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
635, which is less than I thought. I thought we needed 1,000 signatures.
Oh, 10%?
But our
3%.
3%. Oh,
Was
you
what
need
the
to
charter
go,
said.
so to bypass town meeting altogether, or.
Oh,
Yes, to bypass town
Oh.
meeting and get CPA on the
November ballot.
November ballot.
635.
That's what your
Yeah.
report said. And I was like, wahoo, that's almost 400 less signatures than I thought we were gonna need. So.
You could show up at-
635,
you could
there's
show up
6
at
of
town
us on the
meeting.
committee, 100 signatures each, we're good.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, if you show up at town meeting and go, we like your support, and if not, it's okay, cause these. I'll help, you guys need help, I'll need help, I'll sign,
Okay,
definitely.
we'll.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're.
I think, can I just say one thing? And I just have to say, I keep reminding myself, and when I talk to other people, we're not asking the select board to be in favor of the CPA. We're asking them to just be in favor of bringing it to town meeting to let the voters decide,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, if I was a select board member and however, which way I felt about it, I think it's your duty to bring these things to the voter, to the town meeting members and let them vote on it. It's,
Unless you think it's not the right time for it to be put up.
oh, I see. Well, there could be that.
And therein lies the issue, because the
Mhm.
override affects timing in the eyes of some.
Mhm.
And part of the thinking on my part in asking what alternatives there are, to the extent that if the majority of the select board doesn't favor it, even as a procedural matter, forget substance, whether they support the concept or don't, if they think that it's not timely, given other circumstances that are primary, like the override, the question becomes, how we pitch the report with respect to the override.
Mhm.
And I think that there are different ways to pitch the report. The regular operating budget versus the CPA project budget, to be responsive to the timing override question. So it gets pretty complicated. So I'm looking at sort of procedural options to get it up and at this point in time. But if that can be blocked, if you will, then maybe we step back and we pitch it differently. The report.
Yep.
So we have a lot of options. It's good to have options. All right, so do we want to actually switch to looking at the report now?
I had one substantive concern about the report. I have a bunch of little typo issues, but I have one question that is on page 30 that I think we really need to look at
Okay.
carefully.
Come through to me. All
Page 30 of the document or page?
Page 30 of the document, not of the thing
Okay.
that Jackie said.
Okay.
It's the part where we're talking about exemptions.
Okay.
is not page
Yeah,
30.
That one right there.
It's good when it works.
Oh,
Sorry.
that is the right page.
Okay,
Okay, yes.
so I want to look at this, the paragraph about the commercial exemption. That's it. Yeah, I thought we voted to exempt commercial properties. And what I'm reading in that paragraph implies we're not exempting commercial
I
properties.
think that's just
Oh.
leftover language from the
Yeah.
report.
Yeah, so
This
we
is
would
what-
need to fix that.
Yeah, that is exactly the opposite of what we were recommending.
Yeah,
So,
no, and I think elsewhere in the report, it's just that I didn't pick it up in this
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And then the second paragraph there, the last paragraph also talks about exempting the first 1,000 of a commercial, and because we're exempting all of commercial, that we would not have that apply. And I did read through the list of all the towns and what exemptions they had. There's only 4 towns that completely exempted commercial. So completely exempting commercial is a very small minority of the towns. And, you know, not that I want us to re-vote it, I just noticed that, you know, a lot of towns have the 100,000 commercial, but very few towns completely exempted commercial.
and I think, you know, it goes back to the chart on page, on the chart that Joe gave us, that says how much little.
Yeah, it's only gonna be
thing
65,000 even if we
Yeah.
include commercial.
on page
Yeah.
13,
Yeah, I was wondering why that line is in there for commercial.
on which page?
The chart that came out on the report, new one.
That was, the two, we talked about trying to explain why we were proposing consideration of the complete exemption of commercial property, which is that it's basically gonna generate a lot more heat and light revenue.
Yeah, but it was out of place with respect to that discussion, I think.
Possibly,
Yeah.
we might want to talk about where is that now?
on page 12 and 13 is the narrative is on page 12 and the chart is on page 13.
Before I lose the thought on Martha's point about the exemption, the same thing applies.
Hey, Carla.
Busy place.
Yeah.
So
Just going back half step before we go to this, same option in terms of whether commercial and industrial is totally exempt or just the first 1,000 of it is exempt.
Yep.
Also applies to the sample motion, warrant article, and ballot question, which comes at the end, just a footnote that maybe we'll get to that later, but whether or not that's part of the report. Because the exemption options are
Right.
both
No, that's
categorical exclusion of just the first 100,000.
that would be part of what town meeting would vote on, is they would be voting on the exemptions as well as everything else. And they'd have to pick one set of exemptions to put to the voters.
That'd be, some ballot questions are like, do you approve CPA or not? And this will have a lot of that.
This would be, do you approve CPA at
With-
this rate?
With
these
this, okay,
exemptions?
I'll do
Gives
it.
you all the options.
All the
Right, so we, and to some extent, town meeting have to hash out
Yeah,
which options to put to the voters.
right.
So we're gonna propose to town meeting what we think is the best choice.
Recommend / propose, right, yeah.
Town meeting can have a big discussion and change what we put in. So if town meeting decides to include commercial, even though we decided to exempt commercial, town meeting can
Town meeting
overrule
could do
us,
that.
and that's what would actually go to the voters. Yeah.
They could also move the surcharge up or down.
Right.
They have, I
Yeah.
believe that's yearly study committee. Right. We produce a report. That's our authority. So the actual decisions made elsewhere. Finding. All right, so we jumped around a little bit, but this is worth maybe at the risk of going out of order, since you're talking about the writing CPA committee findings page, just no overflow on the following page here. So there's did I do the math wrong? I may have done the math wrong. I see that comment that it's too small. Yeah, that does seem wrong.
Yeah, that's not
Oh,
right.
well, no, actually, that's not that far off.
2003?
So, this is the state match. This is not how much we.
Oh, I'm
raised.
sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Alright.
I have the state match percentages over all those years from the table on the CPA website, which I should probably do my due diligence and triple check that it's the whole, that's the right number to use for.
It felt like when I did the math, it was like it averaged out to 160,000.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
but that's-
considering.
But
that
that's considering kind of the low end of the match.
Well, no, I actually got a spreadsheet and put in all the match percentages, so it was 100% for a few years, and then it was less, and at one point it was a lot less. That 16% or whatever it was, this current year is not the lowest. The lowest was like 13% 10 or 12 years ago.
Did you do that at 1% CPA or what?
No, this is how much the state
Yeah.
pitches in.
So they pitch it in regardless of what our percentage is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But right, it's a percentage. If we collect more, it's a percentage of a bigger thing.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, and 168 is not far off from
No.
what I expected,
No.
because we're saying if
200
we're
now.
taking in 800,000, the state match would be about 200,000. So 168,000 is,
Right, if
a
it's
little
200,000
low.
now, I mean, it's like, yes, the match was bigger in the past, but also, I think the biggest hand wave I did in this estimate that I made up was I just estimated that the property tax revenue went up 3% every year. It's
Yeah,
not, that's,
roughly.
I mean, it's about, it's 2.5%, but then there's new growth, and then we did do one override during that time, so like,
Then COVID,
uh,
assessed value a lot.
yes, well, that doesn't, assessed value doesn't change how much the town takes, it just drives down the rate, because what the town takes goes up 2.5% plus new growth.
No, right, but the town side, I'm saying, as far as we exempt the first 100,000.
Oh, yeah,
It's all-
I hadn't thought about
it's
the,
all assessed
right,
value.
the effect of the 100,000. That is something I did not consider, is that the 100,000 would have a bigger deal in the past. But all I did is I just said how much we would have taken in fiscal year 25. And I was like, that is 103% of what, which is 103% of what back to 2003.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it just was such a bigger number for native.
yeah, I don't know where they've gone.
20 million from Natick.
They
It
said
was 20
20 million.
million.
I
thought
I
that was your
sus-
number.
No.
I suspect Ganesh may have made an arithmetic error of some kind.
He could
Because
very
that
well
seems a
have,
little
because
bit big.
Yeah,
And by a little bit big, I mean, that seems big by a factor.
because when I did the 20, I thought, oh, well, then Joe's using the current average, which is not
No,
it can be one approach to coming up with the number, but I was like, how could Natick have 20 million more?
No,
It doesn't, after all these years, it doesn't feel like a compelling number. That was just my take.
I mean, if it's not compelling, so that's actually maybe a segue into what we want to talk about, the layout of this particular page and section. 'Cause it's, we've got text and we've got charts, and they don't necessarily go quite together yet, and so forth. And the text might be long, I don't know.
Speaking of the text being long, there are places where it's redundant. We say the same thing and then 2 pages later, we say it again. So if we want to cut text, we might choose where to put those chunks that repeat.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, even within this page alone, let's think. I mean, like the 2 paragraphs, in addition, not adopting CPA and like other communities, this is sort of the qualitative argument. There's nothing wrong with either one of them, but they're
Yeah.
also.
But you also, I mean, I think some of the redundancy might be because you don't know if everyone's going to sit down and read the entire report. And so you want to kind of, there's a bit of a hammer.
Redundancy between the
So it's like the
executive
same
summary.
paragraph 100 times.
I mean, you just worry
This is
that somebody's gonna read just that section and then, you missed the opportunity to inform. I mean, I think that's part of what's going on here, but,
So-
doesn't mean that's what we have to.
So by the way, just thinking out loud about editing process here, like, I think tonight we can go ahead and propose sort of arbitrarily large changes. And then we're gonna go back, we'll read those into the document. And then, we should target having a meeting in January where we, do not propose large changes, but propose small changes at most. And that would then put us on track of having a finalized report before late.
February.
No, late January.
But yeah,
So I'd like to, I mean, so the warrant doesn't close, this is one thing we looked up earlier. The last day to close the warrant is March 10th, but we have no interest in taking this all the way up to the deadline.
right.
So, and in fact, with February vacation can make February a bit of a mess. So like aiming for late January, and if we get on the select board agenda in early February, it's fine too. So that's what we're thinking time wise. All right, back to the actual cutting of big pieces.
I still don't like the word matching still.
I mean, I think it's sort of I haven't actually looked it up in the statute.
I thought last meeting we decided to change it to contributing or some other word. It's,
Elsewhere in the thing, it's called partial state match.
yeah, I just don't like that one word matching.
Yeah.
It's totally misleading, that's all. I'm okay with that, Martha. I just want to say what it is. Matching has a one-for-one connotation.
Contribution has a connotation of being voluntary.
I'm not saying contribution
discretionary.
either. No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
contribution either. I'm
And
saying,
I'm saying there's an inference to that too.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
And the word partial, I think, was trying to take away that it was an even one-for-one match by adding partial.
I'm okay with partial.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I just.
So in that first paragraph, it says matching funds twice. I think partial should go in the
Okay.
first part and not the second part,
So
because the second part is just telling where the funds come from.
Yeah,
I have,
What's the official
I have an
word
out,
used?
I have an out, and we can officially blame the state. So I looked up the general law that established the Community Preservation Act. It's General Law, Chapter 44B. And in section 10B, I think it was, hold on, I gotta scroll back, 10B. It says, the amount distributed in this first round distribution shall be known as the match distribution.
Oh,
I
match.
didn't make it up. I read it out of the
I am
law.
not blaming anybody here, obviously.
So I think match is the term. I mean, obviously, we're gonna put the 22% number around so that people know that like we're not talking about 100.
I still like partial.
Yeah, and I mean, we're
Simpler.
And it does say partial somewhere in this thing, because I read the entire report this afternoon. And I did see partial, and I said, okay, Carlo's gonna like that.
Good. Well, I'm glad you read the whole thing.
Yeah. And I also was very pleased to see that the state guarantees a minimum of 5% match. So it's not like it can ever go down to zero.
Is that in there?
It's somewhere in this
Okay.
report that Margaret wrote.
That is actually the
Great.
following sentence of the law.
Margaret edited it.
First round total should
But you want to make sure we give the credit where credit's due.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that was a question from one of the conservation members was, can it ever go to zero? And I said, no, it will never go to zero because there will always be some real estate transactions. But in
That's true.
fact, it's a
It's better
guaranteed
than
floor of 5%.
It's literally the next sentence after the one where they say shall be known as the match distribution.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
says amount not less than 5%, but not greater than 100%.
Let's hope it never gets to 5%.
Yeah,
Why bother?
that is, yeah. So, that also, if that happens, it means the state is hurting and that's gonna hurt us all kinds of other ways.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Can I make one quick,
of
before
course,
we move ahead too far from what we were talking about before? I just keep rereading the discretionary action parts. And I was thinking about those 3 paragraphs, just to make an effort to show how much we've actually gathered data and studied our community and our population. I was just thinking if each of those paragraphs ended with a sentence similar to the first one, where we say, like talking about the first paragraph, something like, because we don't want to burden our, people who this.
Sarah, what exactly are you looking at? 'Cause it's
On
not,
the
I think,
right-hand
on the
side,
right-hand side of.
discretionary action.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like the first one is for people low income housing or moderate income. If we could just, instead of saying the committee is proposing this exemption be adopted, we could say, because we don't want to, burden our population for whom, whatever. I mean, you can wordsmith it any way you want, but we say like the reason why. So because we're considering this delicate part of our population, we're proposing this is adopted. And then in the second one, you could say, because we are not, because we want to support our, we don't want to burden our developing commercial business sector, we are not supporting. And then for the last one, just like, so we say why we are saying either yes or no, you know, because I think that's kind of reinforces, because one of the things that somebody from the library board did say was, oh, but there's some people for where $100 a year is too much. And I think that if we say in this paragraph, you know, we're considering these sensitive lower income population, the sector of Reading, and that because of that, we have this. And the same thing, because we are in support of the growth of our commercial people, we're considering this. You know what I mean? I just think it's a nice little summary. So some people don't always like read every word in these paragraphs, and they might be racing through, and you know.
That is, so this, okay, so we commented earlier about how we repeat ourselves, and this is definitely a case of that, because
Okay.
here we talk about our recommendation, which is actually not like what this page is about. This page is about the process. I guess we have recommendations of the process. We recommend the town meeting vote on it. We recommend this go to town meeting, as opposed to recommending a petition as a, you know, I don't know why you prefer one, but whatever. Yeah,
But, you know,
so
they're basically in this section, they're saying to the, you know, that, you know, there's a required action that needs to happen to get it on the warrant, but then, and I guess if you're silent on it, then you get no exemptions, and it just goes, you know, because it's discretionary, you don't
If it's
have.
default, you may like a default.
Yeah. And that if town meeting doesn't vote a certain way, then the ballot question may not have the provisions that would allow for the exemptions. And so that's a discretion, and if you don't, you know, they have to take action if we're gonna, you know, if the group will benefit from the recommendations. I think that's why it's repeating.
I think it's important. I think it's important, Joe.
Yeah, well, so in that case, my suggestion here would be to call out the parts that are part of the process, not up for negotiation, like the fact that it has to be accepted by a legislative body and so forth, or the fact that a petition would require 635 voters. That's from our recommendations of what to, because I mean, this is confusing to me. Like, it's not clear. If I'm reading this, and I haven't already been living and breathing this for a year and change, I would, you know, be confused about what are my options here? What is decided for me? What is a recommendation, but I could choose, the town meeting could choose something else. Why are the recommendations? I mean, you sort of get into the why, which is where this gets kind of, again, like cumbersome.
On the right side, and I could have meetings mixed up. Can't remember if it was this group or at a select board meeting. Do we talk about veterans here? No, okay. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we have an option of a specific.
All right, I'm
veterans
just,
exemption.
I'm convoluted.
It's a fair question, because it's the sort of thing that would fit with the low moderate income seniors exemption or something, but.
Right. No, it's fine.
And you understand the last two paragraphs there were not updated
those are-
since
yeah, those are-
our vote. So there is a commercial exemption, and
Right.
up there it says there isn't.
Right. No, I was here last meeting, yeah.
But I didn't know if you were here in time for that discussion on this.
Yeah, that was just
That was
oversight.
The very first thing Martha flagged when we opened the report. That.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, no, that's not what we said.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So I mean, what I could do in this discretionary action section is put the action, you know, write down the what are the town meeting choices, you know, the 4 categories, and not put the recommendation behind each of them. But then end with a paragraph saying, or, you know, a paragraph or a note that says the committee is recommending this, so that I'm kind of divorcing the two. So it reads a little bit more simply.
All right.
I guess I would want to modify it with like, based on our extensive study of the population and the business, I don't know, something like that,
Yeah.
not just like, it's our recommendation, we have spoken.
Yeah, you know, I wrote that down, the because ofs, all the because ofs, you know, however my words meant that, but you know, that we're
Yeah.
not commercial because it doesn't generate a lot of income and we want to support our emerging
Yep.
commercial, you know, in recognition to already how burdened our low and moderate income households
Yep.
are. We don't want to increase their burden, so we're doing
Yeah.
that one, you know, the 100, I don't know, the 1,000, we just want to do it because of, you know, for everybody.
Right, I mean, that's just effectively makes the tax, I mean, I don't gotta think about what's the right way to put this.
It lessens the burden.
Progressive is the technical term, but obviously that word has other meanings that are to be loaded. But it's progressive taxation in the sense of the richer you are, the higher tax you pay, the higher tax rate, not only the.
So I think we've basically chosen every exemption we can, given that two of them are either 100%, 100,000 off commercial or complete off commercial. So those you can't
They're
choose
mutually
both.
exclusive, right?
And we've
that's correct.
chosen the maximum, we've
Right.
chosen the maximum exemptions allowed.
To lessen the burden to the community.
Sure.
Period.
But when are we gonna know if? I know this will be in the warrant, but will Alan let one of us present?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it'll be like bylaw presenting on the snow shelf or whatever.
The warrant, as I understand the process, doesn't really get into what we're talking about here. It just says that there's going to be town meeting action of this subject matter, and it will involve
Yeah, but this is.
a determination of surcharge rate and exemptions.
This document won't be in it?
The recommendations
Right.
behind the warrant
Yeah.
article, okay, will inform the options and the recommendations.
Right.
And then when you get to town meeting floor, you lay out the specific options.
This is the warrant article versus motion thing, which is among the more counterintuitive things that people in town meeting are like. The warrant is what people are warned about in advance, so it defines what you could possibly.
Yeah, no, we don't know what happens in live.
And then, right, but the motion is the part that could be anything that is within the
The
four
amendments,
corners of the
the
article.
amendments, yeah.
Yeah, well, and even the initial motion is constrained by the article, but then any amendments are amendments, not to the article, they're amendments to the motion.
I would assume that we would be able to send this report to all the town meeting members in advance to give them a chance to read
I
up
thought you guys
on
were
it.
gonna do videos as well, like song and dance videos, like, that's what
And
I heard.
I'm sure the report, I'm sure we can ask the clerk to distribute the PDF of the completed report to town meeting members. Or, you know, whatever town meeting this is being discussed at, that seems entirely.
I remember getting the recal report, for example.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it would
reports
be a
for
similar
Killam as well, so pretty standard. We've gotten advanced materials on some much smaller issues, I think, in the past sometimes. All right, so it's funny, okay, I'm trying to figure out where to put recommendations, because I do feel like it would be nice to have it, so, and maybe this is the right place. But there's two different options here. There's a Reading CPA committee findings section that we've also talked about a bunch, and there's this section. And maybe this section is the right place to put the recommendations, because this is where we talk about the decisions for which we are making recommendations. Like,
And I know I complained that we have something shows up more than once. I think our recommendations showing up more than once is not a bad thing. So put it in the findings
Yeah.
and also put it down here. And I like Sarah's suggestion of explaining why, and Margaret summarized that for all four together, we're choosing the maximum level of exemptions possible to ease the burden on our citizens. And commercial properties.
so part of what I'm, there's a section titled Committee's Recommendation to Town Meeting. There is also that section.
Yeah.
Which is before the sections for the different areas.
Are we still on page 30?
We're actually discussing what page things should go on, so that discussion isn't on a
okay.
page per se.
That should be like an in summary page, right? That should be towards the.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Maybe we put our flyer in there as in summary and change it up a little bit because the flyer that was so nicely done.
The
You
one
know.
pager, yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a good option. We might think about where to put that in. That would be
And if somebody wanted to just print out that flyer.
well, or, I mean, it would be a matter of Margaret putting a PDF in another PDF, which that's a thing you can do, exactly. I can do it. So I've lost track of so your question about page numbers is right there. So we were talking about two different places. Now I'm trying to find the other one again.
All right.
There we go. There's page 30 and page 17, yes. So, but there's also page
12
and
13.
12 and 13.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
maybe we should walk through these sections from the top to the bottom here to get just an idea of what should go in each. So this section is mostly like fact-finding stuff. Here's the amount of
What's that, section 12?
or yeah, page 12, Reg CPA committee findings. Okay, CPA's effect on your tax bill, that heading is not quite in the right place. That's not the effect on the tax bill, the effect on revenue. The effect on the tax bill is the, $100 number, not the $1 million number.
Yeah,
That's what you get when you multiply 100 times 10,000.
For example, there's no lead in to the chart at the bottom of 13.
Yeah,
And that's effect on the tax bill.
yeah. So that's so I would think that how do I want to say this? I'm setting edits. I'm speaking edits out loud, which is messy as heck. But that is the chart that would go directly under CPA's effect on your tax bill. And it would be,
That's a good idea to break it down like this. So it's from 70 to 134.
I'm still surprised that the top and bottom 10% are that close to the average. I really would have expected a bigger range, but
And the bottom 10% assessed value may not actually be paying that because they may be the low income people as well, but
some
it's
of
hard
them,
to
right,
know.
that's right. You can be, strictly speaking, your income and the value of your property.
Should we be putting in what the HUD income is for low income instead of just saying it's the HUD figure?
It is in there.
It is in there elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Not,
Okay.
not here, right? We're not talking about exemptions here. So right
Okay.
here, we're talking about impact on an average taxpayer.
Okay.
Or for that matter, impact on a range.
Well,
of
it was
taxpayers.
above it. It was above it when you scrolled by. I saw it. So you don't have to, if you keep going.
Oh yeah, CPA exemptions is
Do-do-do. Right there. Unlike- Right. On the right paragraph there, it
Go ahead,
says,
Sarah.
the one that starts with unlike the 100K exemption, on the bottom line, it says based on HUD area-wide medium income guidelines. So I'm just wondering if you should just say, which is presently, I don't know, 120,000 or whatever it is.
Based on
Isn't-
family size.
Oh, it
Yeah.
varies by family size? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's there's a table.
Okay. I thought it was like a number, kind of like the way we do like affordable housing, 80% or whatever. So, okay.
And we do that for affordable housing too. I
It
think.
is
It's the same
80
thing.
and 100 according to,
Right, but it's 80% of one number if you have a family of 4 and 80% of a different number if you have a family of 6.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
And then it gets confusing, 80% is the eligibility, but CPA funds could be spent up to 100% of AMI. But the exemption
guess-
applies to 80% of AMI.
I guess so people who are in that range would know they would say, aha, that applies to me, or aha, it doesn't apply to me, right? I mean, you would know.
Might be worth, I mean, I think, okay, so maybe not here. We're still pretty early in the report here. And this is among the, but okay, so actually, if we go back, the overview section also covers some of this stuff. Okay, I think maybe we had no choice but to take this from the top. We were jumping into some key things in the middle, and now I feel like it's gotten a little bit confused.
Okay.
So I think the thing to look at let's go ahead and look at the summary first. I know that I various high school voices echoing in my head, they always wrote the summary last, but all right.
That all looks good to me.
I'm wondering, Joe, whether or not it makes sense to kind of do big picture first before you get lost in the weeds of the exemptions. Seems to be happening. You present sort of the revenue, tax bill impact, is sort of a very minor note in passing that it assumes exemptions, and then you get into the exemptions below.
I think you're right, and I want to get to that when we get to that part of the report, because I think we start jumping around and I think it might be slowing us down. So I feel like we're going in circles a little bit. So, all right, so we go in a straight line instead of a circle. We start here. I'm not hearing any comments actually on the executive summary.
I mean, I think what Sandy just said is relevant, which is nowhere in here does it say the reason why we want to pass it, which is going to add an extra $1 million or, to these three categories of spending allocation.
Actually, it says our projections indicate CPA adoption will bring in more than $1 million in annual revenues to fund the above projects, including partial matching funds from the state.
Is that below? What
It's below.
Yeah,
the
it's
fold,
clear.
yeah.
I think
There.
it has to go
Found
higher.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally moving that paragraph around is that could go between the CPA permits committees and towns and above community preservation monies. I think that's exactly where you were thinking, right? Yeah, pretty much.
So there's your partial matching.
It's one part. I was listening. I this section, I think this page, I think I rewrote more or less from scratch and sent to Margaret last weekend. Because it includes so many numbers and it includes exemptions, we're doing something different. So the text didn't flow before.
And then the other comment that I had received that I didn't incorporate, but I wanted to bring to the committee was the idea of, somehow talking about why now, given that the town is already overburdened with either recently adopted overrides or future anticipated overrides.
Are you proposing that for the executive summary page, or should we come back to that? You are.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I thought it should be noted, at least the issue should be noted in the executive summary. I don't think we
Yeah, and
talk about it
you
in
might say,
Monday.
despite the challenging fiscal times, or
just because I think that it's gonna be in the air, so why are we not acknowledging it?
Trying to figure out the right way to work it in. That dangling gears really bothered me. So if I knew how this was going to format in your thing, I would have found a word to shorten somewhere in that paragraph just to make it not wrap. I don't know if that sort of thing catches your eye, Margaret.
And is it really per year or just in 2025 or 2026? Because it will change over time as our taxes go up.
Oh, right. I mean, everything gets more expensive too. So I feel like discussing everything in current year dollars is going to be the
Yeah, that's the best way to
right. Otherwise, it's just
get a baseline.
otherwise this becomes like a math problem. We're all trying to solve for compound interest.
Which is gonna cost me in 5 years, right? That's that, it makes no sense.
That's because of what's it gonna cost to fix a trail in 5 years? I don't know, more than it does today.
Right,
But-
but I'm just saying like. Would have only paid a CPA surcharge of 97 that year as opposed to per year. Because per year changes, but that year doesn't change.
So this says in FY 25. So this basically, so it is true that with the FY 25 tax rate. And that value, $893,000, $893,069. Then 1% of the remainder would be that 97.79. So-
So would have only paid that in 2025.
Well, but if in 2027 you have a house that is worth $893,069.
Mhm.
And the tax rate is the same, which I know it'll go up slightly up or down or whatever, based on depending on whether our property values are going up faster or slower than 2.5% a year. But it's basically given that FY 25 tax rate. A house that costs that much would pay that surcharge.
Just drop the reference to per year, just leave it at $97.79.
And that gets the year off.
Because then you're stating a fact right there, that, exactly, right, that's the fact of that.
I mean,
Of that year.
But is that per bill, per month, or per year?
Annual.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
does it say,
annual,
would be
annual CPA
annual-
surcharge.
Okay, an annual
Annual.
CPA surcharge of.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
that's fine.
which gets rid of the what happens in 5 years question. But it's the surcharge for that annual tax bill. Yeah. That makes me feel better. Probably leaves 97 wrapping around.
I was gonna
up
say,
there.
that's gonna be even uglier, but.
Well, I can
you
work on
you
doing the
mess-
margin.
you
Yeah. If that's gonna be the fall, I will get it all done.
can- So, okay, so we've touched on the, not all years are the same problem, which is valid, but again, I don't want to make this too complicated either.
Right.
I'm not trying to confuse people. So. I mean, okay. I'm thinking of a sentence for the last paragraph that acknowledges our beloved elephant in the room. The so something about the around either either before or after the sentence about anticipated voter turnout. I actually type.
Something, Joe, like the contribution of material outside funds from the state will help the town meet its fiscal challenges. Projected, however you want to refer to it, you can directly refer to it. You can sort of describe it.
But won't meet our fiscal challenges.
Help.
Assist,
Yeah.
Help. It can only help.
As the town considers how to meet its fiscal challenges.
Where are you typing this?
I'm in a brand new Google Doc on my
Okay.
screen, because otherwise because I can't think out loud. We have to do this all in meetings because open meeting law, but God, it's a pain in the butt to do this, not just editing shared Google Doc. All right.
I appreciate that.
Well, Jackie could share it.
No, yeah, no, I mean, it's but we can't all go pitch in it. We can't all go at it at the same time.
No, but she can share a version.
Yeah. The additional state, God, I want to say matching funds, and I know Carla's gonna be mad at me.
distribution.
You're not gonna get mad.
State of
The addition of,
yes, the addition of state CPA fund distributions would be helpful. Sounds so underwhelming.
positive.
Would
Right.
only help.
Yes. Right. The addition of state CPA, I mean, so this puts the fiscal challenges second, but what about flipping the sentence around to say the addition of state CPA fund distributions would help Reading meet its current fiscal challenges?
Short and sweet.
Okay.
It at least acknowledges that an issue. We can get into it further in the body.
You could also say ongoing, because.
Ongoing, yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's not like municipal finance is gonna be easy in 5 years.
Right, exactly. It's this year, it's
No, it's
next year, it's, yeah.
It wasn't easy
No.
10 years ago, it
No.
won't be easy 10 years from now.
Use the word systemic.
There you go.
Yeah,
Ooh,
well,
fancy.
I've done my time soapboxing about Prop 2.5, and I will do more time between now and November 2026, I expect. Okay, I wrote a sentence, I would like to get that sentence over to Jackie and Margaret. I'm trying to figure out, should I chat it to you? So it's sharing the screen. How's it you doing? Jax, I just chatted you the text.
Here's? Upstairs.
So,
And where do you wanna add it before the anticipated?
I think maybe after that and before, based on our research and system, yeah, because it is relevant to our recommendation. They're about to take part of this meeting from a walk, quite possibly.
So would it be
Cold.
the second to last sentence in that paragraph we're looking at?
Yes.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so Jack, do you send that to me or?
Doesn't let me copy it from the chat.
Oh, crying out loud.
Really?
I mean, I can like, I can email it to you. How about that?
Yeah.
So hitting this.
She's just retyping.
Okay, that's fine. It's one sentence. All right. No, I think that's a fair point, extremely well taken about needing to address the fiscal challenges. That, yes. Okay, my favorite typo later is where it talks about a split axe rate. I made a note of that one. I'll have to search for that. and find it. That was, we will keep an eye out for any other typos. All right.
Joe, on the override issue, this kind of gets into the later portion of the report where that's addressed. I'm just gonna flag it here. You can tell me whether or not you want it now or maybe later. I think an interesting question for us is, what do we look at this as? We're gonna raise the same amount of money and get more from the state to spend on a greater capital budget for CPA eligible projects. Or, which is, I'll call it the aggressive approach, okay? Raise the same amount of money, get 20% more, and have more to spend on those things. Or whether we're gonna use the 20% as, if you will, savings from our current CPA eligible project budget. Which I think really kind of addresses whether or not we're helping to solve the fiscal problem, or we're not making it any
Are we
worse.
making the, right, are we making the override smaller or are we keeping it the same size?
Well,
I think
another way of
that's-
saying the same thing.
And I mean, of course, strictly speaking, that's not actually up to us, but I do think, but I have talked with Sharon briefly about this, like, what if we reduced the share of capital in the budget to, 4.5% or 4 3/4 or something like that, right? Which would reduce the amount of override needed.
Right.
With the, understanding that the town would be, through the CPA, the town would be spending money on some things that would have been previously paid for directly out of the capital, 5% of the budget.
Right,
I think you're really getting in the weeds,
you do,
that's my opinion.
I mean, that is.
$200,000 either way, right?
No, the amount is simple.
The amount, not we.
Phrasing in the,
Oh, the part where we're like, right, yeah, I mean, I don't,
No,
even in the,
that's just my opinion.
for both
no,
parts of
the way you
it,
express it, it's the concept.
I'm not sure I want, well.
I know what you mean. I understand it because I've been part of this process, but we gotta break this down in layman's terms and not get people like asking too many questions or ask simple questions.
Yeah.
If we get a Mary Ann Downing in the room or a Joe in the room, they're gonna be mental gymnastics over this,
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to address the more tax issue.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And
I
I
get
think,
it.
I think the way to do it is just nets to less tax. Or less.
Well, no, you can't
less-
say that's less tax, we're
less
paying the
in-
tax to
less
get
But
this.
maybe a smaller override.
I know what he's saying. How to say it is the way, is what I'm
I
getting
mean, I
at.
think, yeah.
I know what you're saying.
In terms of how to say it, like, I don't think we can necessarily decide, and we certainly can't decide on behalf of like future voters decades from now, whether the town uses CPA to get 20% more stuff or to get stuff 20% cheaper.
Mhm.
If we adopt CPA, the town could do either.
I like that. Can you just put that on slide?
I mean, basically, we should, it's a good sound.
I like it.
But yeah,
Easy to
it's-
I like
right.
just the
And
way you said it.
it is, something where, I mean, again, if you want to get complicated, you can start thinking about what's the mechanism by which we get things to it, like, and that is in the weeds, and I don't think we want.
Yeah, right. It's like you go shopping, buy one, get one free. That kind of makes sense. Buy two, get one free. Okay, now I gotta spend more money to get the one free. I was already buying one. Now I'm getting something for free. Now the promotion is buy two, get one free. Wow, that sounds great. But now I gotta spend more money to get that free item. So I know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I think to how we convey that is
Right, were we gonna buy two anyway, which is a
right,
budget question.
right, exactly,
Were we
exactly.
gonna buy two anyway?
We're spending this anyway, right? But
Or
we have to pay a tax to get this.
Or this is a permanent 18% sale on stuff we're gonna do anyway.
Right, I mean, that's,
The match is gonna be different every year, so.
yeah, I mean, it is,
Yeah,
right.
no, I know, you have to pick a number, and it ranges from low of 5.
To a high of 100,
Yeah,
Right.
back in 2000 when we didn't vote
Those
it.
two numbers are,
Was it really 100?
It was 100 for the first few years and we chose not to join that bandwagon at that time.
yes, it was, 2008 is the first year, it dropped from 100 to 67%.
that's a big drop.
As a big drop, and it halved again the next year. to
2008 was
35%.
tough, we were having a housing crisis.
Oh, good point. Oh, right, because real estate transactions fell off a cliff. So yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but also the more people got on the bandwagon, the further they had to share that pot.
That's pretty gradual though. I've got the chart open in front of me and it was like it was 113 to 127.
Well, since then, registry of deeds fees have increased, like, so it's
Yeah,
hard.
no, you can see in the numbers where that happened, I think, because the match went up. And it had been declining for a while, but anyway, all right, we're getting off topic. We have a very big doc to try to get through.
Okay, all right, I'm
So
gonna let
can I
you
give you a
continue.
wrap up thought?
What's that?
Could I give you a wrap up thought on that?
Thank you again,
On
this
the-
is not easy,
on
thank you
that-
again.
On that subject?
On the subject of the
200K?
Yeah.
Yes, right. Are we getting 200K more stuff or are we getting stuff 200K cheaper?
Yeah, page 8. The last sentence in the override section. When I read it, I didn't understand it.
Wrote it late at night. so-
Yes, okay. I think what you said a few minutes ago could go there. So instead of the sentence that says, this means that the necessary tax increase for an override combined with the CPA would be less than an equivalent override alone, assuming the Reading voters want to continue. So
that's
what
right.
you could say is
Mhm.
something like, in effect, CPA would give the town the option of either
Yes.
level funding,
Yes.
and getting 20% more.
So yeah, we're out of order, but this is exactly what we're talking about. So yeah, that last sentence, oh God, the last sentence is straight up embarrassing. Sorry.
No,
I really
no,
did.
it's a perfect place.
Well, if I had seen that it was taking 7 lines, I might have reconsidered my life choices there. So it's
But I think if you
yeah,
replace it
that's
with
the
what we
place
just did.
with, right,
Correct.
so that last sentence, this means the necessary tax increase for an override. Like, that sentence can go all the way to the end of the, wall. Goodbye. Then, instead, this means Reading voters could decide,
Would have the option
or would have the option to,
at any point in time, in the future.
yeah, would have the option, I wouldn't say any of that, I'd say would have the option to, how do I put this? Yes, okay, oh, you know what, I wanna spell this out a little bit more because it's confusing. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm turning to my doc again. I think we're just reading late at night, right? So the state distribution would allow Reading to either fund an additional 200 projects per year, or to fund projects we currently fund at an effective cost. That's not perfect, but it's a start. What
Were we
about-
gonna add something about how it would leverage or open doors to being receiving additional federal or state funds for projects? I think that's kind of important. And I know it's another place, but
Yeah, maybe. Let's finish one thing at a time here.
okay.
But that's a good point. I don't want to forget that point, because that is one of the other arguments is that there are,
It helps us get more free money.
yes, right. Just to finish this thought here.
Okay.
State, state distribution would allow Reading either to fund an additional $200,000 of these projects per year.
I'd say approximately.
That's true. Fund approximately or to fund I don't want to say the existing projects, maybe just
The same level
of
projects as we already are doing.
or to fund
CPA projects.
yes, or to fund projects we currently fund at a cost of $200,000 less to the taxpayer.
Sure. I think someone's supposed to read that 4 times, but that's okay.
I think that can be, I think we can shorten that, but maybe not right now, but
Okay, fine. Yeah, if you got a better, if you want to
Yeah.
wordsmith that, go for it.
So if I make some changes, which I do have some to make, and I don't want to bore them, get the momentum, I could just send them to Jackie and Jackie sends them to Margaret. Is that how it goes?
Or you could send it to Margaret.
You can send them to Margaret directly.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I'll send it to
Copy
Margaret.
Jackie.
yeah, copying Jackie is good practice, just so that if anybody ever
Okay.
asks us for all of our emails,
All right.
Jackie can just, Hand them all over without us having to
Okay.
dig them out of our Gmails or whatever. All right, okay, so this was a jump around, but it was a good point because it was relevant to what we were discussing on the first page. I would like to actually go through the document. Okay. So if we back up, I think we settled on, we're good on the executive summary. Maybe we don't have to back up far, we didn't get very far, all right, okay. This page, I know I didn't have any edits for it because it's just like, this is all, none of this is writing specific.
And Sarah, I think you sent me the picture of the two people skiing. Are they gonna be upset if they're in the book?
Are they gonna what?
Do I need to get permission for so I think this picture
Oh,
was-
yeah. That's me in the red coat and Beth Mosier in the blue, and I'm sure
Okay, so
I'll double
You'll
check
mention it
with
to
that.
Beth?
Okay,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to double check because I don't.
If you wanted to say, that's at Bear Meadow Woods cross country skiing.
Okay.
Yep.
the caption cross country skiing at Bear Meadow is to make it clear that this is, because not all of us go cross country skiing, I don't. So I might not know what Bear Meadow looks
Yeah,
like.
to show that it's actually one of our resources.
Beautiful, idyllic winter scene is in fact
Right in
there.
Reading, yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
Cool. Great. Excuse me, check it out. All right. Okay, so because this page is not, picture notwithstanding, this page is not very writing specific, so we don't have to change a lot, I think. I see it
What
says,
page number are we on?
you're on page
Seven.
7. actually.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have any corrections on that.
All right, let's move along, because there's a bunch of pages. We were just on page 8. This one's definitely spicier. So taking another one. So here.
I'll just say this picture is from the Art Box project that Andrew McNichol had organized, and it was painted by Ruth Clark. If you want to put that in there or not, I don't know.
If you want to send the art photo credit stuff to
Margaret?
Yeah.
Okay,
and stuff.
okay.
So
The date of the last CPA, according to the CPA database, was April of 2002.
The last attempt.
One and only.
So this is one mention of the commercial exemption that doesn't include a chart. I think that's okay.
Oh,
But it should later.
I was gonna include, I think an earlier comment was to add some reference to the estimate that the church has related to commercial totaled only 51,000.
I would get to that later.
Okay.
so are you saying in the paragraph right under the picture, you need to change 2003 to be 2002?
Correct.
No, the vote was in April 2003.
According to the database, it says 2002.
Really?
So
Same source.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Look it up, I'm sure you're right. All right, so
I like the exemption of commercial paragraph there.
yeah, I think it's good as is.
Yeah.
We will come back to that topic later and we will find a place for that chart with the small numbers.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right, so then.
Should we add the word annual in impact on property owners
So,
right down there?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. And also I should correct that to would pay. Although, oh God, it's gonna make it rap. Oh. My aesthetic sense and my grammatical sense are in a fight. All right, okay, let's look at something weird happened there with the footer clobbering the
Yeah.
text.
I'll have to. I'll have to add that up.
Okay, yeah.
Underneath the window.
Sure.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. That was you working with an existing text box and me being,
No, I think I can tell here that the text boxes have changed since I sent it. So I think it's however it gets open, because it would have been just one text box.
oh, interesting.
Oh, interesting.
And like that in 2018, and that was not by itself when I sent it out.
Yeah. All right.
So, I mean, it
But
just
yeah.
gets funky,
All right,
but
so this is the elephant in the room section, so. I'm inviting criticism because it's gonna get a lot. These 3 paragraphs are gonna get read more than most.
Why is that the elephant in the room? I think that's good information.
But yeah, and it's good information that is best not omitted because it's the fact that they're, you know, it's gonna be an override and considered at the same time is at least again with our proposed timeline.
yeah, I think it's important information.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think
Yeah.
it's
Tried to be even-handed there. There is an argument, however, there's also an argument. Of course, I put my argument second because that's rhetoric, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
It's just for trying sense on it, Joe. And when I was thinking about this, I wrote a note to myself. I said, they say it's not the right time. Some say it's never the right time. I say, especially now, it's necessary. Because we have a problem, and this helps solve the problem.
But it doesn't solve anything.
Sure can.
Solve?
I
Solve
said
it.
help.
Okay, solve and help is 2 different things.
No, I said help solve.
Oh, help, well,
Yeah.
solving a problem is solving the problem and fixing it. This is,
Well, it takes any number of things. I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean, but it's just, it's, at the end of the day, when they go to vote on this, most people aren't gonna know what it is, most. Because it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a state election, it'll be high turnout. And people are gonna talk to their friends ahead of time or not. And go in there and they're not gonna know what it is, so they might not vote at all, there's that option, right, not vote at all, not fill in a circle, and then when I don't know how it's gonna read on the ballot, but if it says tax, most people are gonna say no. That's just my opinion, I don't know, and what was the margin again, 20 years ago?
Very, very small.
72
Very
or
small.
51, I can't.
Yeah,
I
so
heard it.
if the educated voter comes out, and a lot of them do, but a lot don't. Or they refer their friends and neighbors and family what to vote for. A lot of us get asked who to vote for, what to support, what not to support. And how this is conveyed matters, not this, the text, how the individuals convey it.
correct.
Martha's gonna talk to 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, and advocate, right? And then those people are gonna make up their own mind. But at the ballot box, I think a large percentage of those voters are like, I don't know what this is.
So I'm gonna cut both of you off because I'm not sure that anything we're talking about here goes into the report.
Yeah, that's fine, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want to remember that, you know, some say this is not the right time, some say it's never the right time, like that's a line, I gotta remember that line.
Yeah,
But this is a report, this is not a a debate club, whatever, any kind of, so like.
And all of that belongs in the
Hack.
campaign committee, which we are not.
right,
We're just the report committee.
You're welcome to join a campaign committee and freely speak any good one-liners you can come up with, because we got free speech. So yeah. All right.
Okay, we're good on page 8.
Next page.
Moving on.
Hey, we've got your AMIs. I did it for one individual and 2 individuals.
The first paragraph where it says 100%, says being between 100%.
Being below. Okay, that's just a dumb.
Below, okay, perfect. Check.
Oh, or I guess it's between 80, it could be between 80 and,
80%.
I guess you're right, between 80 and, we should say between, if you're low, you're not moderate. If you're moderate, you're not low. So I guess it would be between 80 and 100. That's what I was starting to type, okay. Now I can just see what, like, there's between 80% and, there we go, that's more precise.
So this gives you real numbers for household income.
Yeah. 132 grand ain't what it used to be.
So this is telling us that senior citizens with two individuals making $132,000 would not have to pay anything into this
They would be
CPA
eligible for an exemption.
If they
yes.
wanted to come in and ask for it.
if they asked for it, yeah.
And I assume that's the same threshold definition that the town uses for their seniors.
Yeah, the senior property tax exemption piggybacks on a state senior tax exemption. You qualify for that, the senior circuit breaker, it's called, and that, so, but I'm assuming the state uses the same threshold that the area median income. It's
Can I
probably,
ask, what is the age of a senior? Is it 62 or 65?
I
good
think
question.
it's 65.
Excellent question.
What is considered a senior in Massachusetts?
Well, it's senior for the purposes of the
Yeah,
CPA.
oh gosh, wow, this is, okay, so I am not gonna take AI summary at face value, it's really summarizing something complicated. Uh,
So
There
I take
are-
it back, I don't know for sure what it is CPA wise,
Okay,
but
there is, for some things, there could be, often for senior center programs, 60 is used. For the senior circuit breaker exemption.
There's gotta be something in the Mass General Law, so it's
Yeah.
60?
Appears to be 60.
But the senior circuit breaker tax credit, is that Massachusetts? I don't know. See, this is why you click on the link in the AI summary.
but Sandy's reading a thing printed out from the CPC website and it says 60,
Wow, all right.
so.
wow, I'm a senior.
Join the club. Yep.
Oh, here we go, senior property tax
60
exemption.
and over, 60 and over.
Scroll down, 65 and older and co-applicant 60 or older. So one of you's gotta hit 65 first.
This is CPA specific.
That's what's on the screen, right?
No, that's the tax.
No, this is the
exemption.
senior property tax exemption.
Okay.
This is the thing that we've had, that we had to renew actually with the.
It's a circuit breaker.
Mhm.
And this is where if you get the state seniors, if you get the state circuit breaker, we give you an exemption on your Reading property tax.
Yeah.
And once you've filed for that, you don't have to file again for your CPA break, I think was the point. You've already proved it,
That may be-
right?
One hand's gotta talk to the other though, right? Because it's a writing tax and the state.
Yeah, well, once you proved it to Reading to get the senior circuit breaker,
Yeah,
I
that should
think,
go upstream.
it goes
It's
automatically
Reading's
to
own
your
collection,
CPA.
because Reading would be,
State.
Yeah.
It doesn't have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not automatically, I doubt it.
No, the state doesn't have to know whether you get exempted from your
Local.
CPA local
Local.
property
Right,
tax.
yeah.
now, because if you've got two different exemptions that are both collected by the town, they have the same criteria, then I will optimistically hope that it is within the town's capabilities
Right.
to process that.
Hopefully.
And if it isn't, we know where to find the town manager. We can ask questions.
I read it somewhere in Margaret's report,
Okay,
that you don't have to apply twice.
all right,
It says that.
okay, all right.
Whether Reading can make
Let's
that
keep moving
possible is
here.
another question.
Because I don't want to be there like.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is more or less the same text as, so then this is just information. We're gonna have to get the updated.
And is Winchester on that map yet?
They might be.
It was, I pulled it from it's a new map,
Okay, so they should be done.
so I pulled it
Yeah,
from
they
the
are.
website.
Yay.
They are that's it, exactly, yep. You got, I was gonna walk up to the screen, but,
Okay, good.
Jack's cursor is visible. Stereo too, so how about that? All right, oh, do they have the one that's, Egremont, yes, I think the newest one, community with like a few hundred people on the New York border.
And it's on there.
It's on there, yes.
And Winchester is on there. I saw it. I looked for that one. So that's a nice current
Yeah,
list.
this was, I prepared this list,
Okay,
so, from the database,
Thank you.
all right,
I love the way we got 201 towns and there's Yarmouth is the extra town
just
at the
hanging off the
bottom.
bottom.
I didn't want to resort it and have 51 on the other, or whatever, 51 on the other
Yeah.
side.
All right,
That's fine.
now we're back to this page, which is another juicy one, but.
So
And what page number is this?
this is page.
12.
I thought we fixed this page when I first walked in.
We were working on it and then
2020.
we kept going back and forth between whether something should be here, something should be somewhere else. I'm like, okay, hold on, let's just take it from the top.
I found some grammar errors on the right-hand column under CPA exemptions, the second paragraph. Unlike the $100,000.
I don't, that parses to me, that seems right.
Okay, I found a few grammar errors. I did not actually write down what they were. Unlike
So, did we want it?
how about programs in the 5th line down? Cause it's annual applications, so it should be programs.
Yeah, that is correct. That is. Taxpayers who already file annual applications and other income-based exemption programs need not reapply.
Okay, I don't see
That would
anything
hurt.
else there to object
That's a
to.
singular grammatical error, but sorry.
Okay,
It's a grammatical error in your grammatical error.
In the first paragraph, last few words, the word mother kind of strikes me as odd. It's $100,000 off all residential.
Yeah, but the other ones are getting 100, the other two are, you can't, so if you're getting exempt because you're low income, or you're exempt because you're low and moderate.
Right, we're not taking $100,000 off the value of your house if you're qualifying for 100% exemption. We're taking 100% off the value of your house if you qualify for that.
Right.
If you're not one of those, if you're one of the others, you get $100,000 off.
Yeah, I think that's confusing, actually. I could just say it's $100,000 off everything, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, if we say the first 100,000, I thought about this word, I thought about this other.
This is where you came out.
This is where I came, because otherwise you get this thing where like we're exempting the properties of these people
Why don't we?
and the first
why don't we put it
$100,000,
first?
and it's like,
$100,000 off and we're talking about everybody. This is
except-
the main audience here.
but we're not talking about everybody, we're talking about everybody who's not exempted some other way. If you're exempted 100%, we're not taking off the first $100,000.
We're taking off everything.
Yeah.
So it's 100 plus 90.
Taking off 100% of what's the type,
Okay,
goofy
move
here,
on,
come on,
move
move
on.
on. All right, I don't know, I'm torn about whether I was considering trying to figure out how to make this page smaller so that another one of these wandering graphs on the next page could maybe come in, but I'm not sure if I want to or not.
I actually at one point had a chart down here.
Mhm.
You know, down at the bottom, but I didn't like how it looked. And so I thought it was better to actually put it on the next page.
And you
So-
could squeeze the
And then-
chart up, but you couldn't squeeze the assumptions up. That would be too big.
And, you know, I mean, I could write this page, you know, I think part of the problem is it's a column page. And the chart doesn't want to fit in the size of a column,
Yeah,
otherwise it becomes unreadable. And so you could change the CPA findings instead of it being column to be like page 13, where you lose the column, but the column is pretty darn effective.
yeah,
Maybe we could just throw a little picture in there.
so, okay, yeah, well, hold on here. So first, there's two graphs on the next, or two tables on the next page. The first table doesn't belong here. Maybe I said it belongs here. If I did, I was wrong.
Yeah, I think
I don't think-
we want to put this table kind of under this section is
Yeah,
what I
so
thought.
the second table on this page, that one there, I think that could and should get flattened out because I can put assumptions next to the table instead of under it. Or actually, you could probably do that. It's right, you already reformatted what I sent you here. It's
Yeah.
like, I didn't have that cool green back top bar.
I was trying to make it look pretty.
It is prettier, so mission accomplished. But yeah, if we just drag the assumptions off to the right instead of underneath, this would become a short wide graph and would fit, I think, just fine at the bottom of the previous page.
Oh, nice. See what you're saying.
It might need to get a little bit smaller, but it's a little bit bigger. That text is a shade bigger than the current regular text, so it could afford to get squished a little bit.
On that one there, see how it says the last one, exemption for first $100,000 of property value,
Yeah.
right? Which we all know in this room. And then it says assessed value. But then should we put another column of the $100,000 off? Or people will figure that out, that it is not $893, $793.
I mean, it's,
You could put it right under assessed value, right on the heading.
Should we do an asterisk? Assessed
Maybe
value asterisk?
Another column would be easier.
yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I mean, I think this was like
A row, yeah.
graph, like the table that didn't work for us in the Natick one, because it was talking about, they were talking about why they were taxing commercial property. So it had like, and they had like, here's the total value of residential property, and then here's the total value of residential property if you take the first 100,000.
Yeah,
And like, that was like math for doing the totals.
right,
But for like, okay, I'm gonna push back a little bit here. So I'm trying to figure out what this is gonna cost me.
right.
I might know what my current tax bill is. I can look up what the value of my house is,
Right.
part of the town. I don't need to look up the value of my house minus something, minus 100,000. And I don't need to do the multiplication to do, oh, currently it's 1133 per thousand or whatever. I don't actually even know what it went up to this year. 26. But oh, 33, I think it was 11. Anyway, we can double check that.
It was a dollar spread. Residential.
Yeah, yeah. And so we're trying to do the residential one because this is the single family residential.
Right. Yeah,
So I don't think I need to look up the 100,000 minus. I think
Yeah.
we're not asking people to check our arithmetic. We're not asking people to make sure that we multiplied the tax, the $100,000 less.
all right, I was just pointing it out, no big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. No, it's I mean, I think, I had to think it, I was thinking out loud. I think you're, it's a fair point. But yeah, I think we can, and we don't want more columns because we're trying to fit it now on the.
No, I get it.
And I think anybody who's looking at this chart will say, I now pay, let's
Right, I
say,
know I pay-
$9,000, so I know I'll be paying between
Oh,
70 or
70.
90 extra, so maybe about 80 extra.
Right.
And that's the math they're gonna do. They're not gonna go back to their assessed value minus 100.
Yeah.
I don't think they-
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
And keep in mind, this is for the select board, not the general public at this point.
Well, I mean, we do hope that some people, like, at least some town meeting members will actually read this.
Yeah,
That is the theory.
And I just also want to point out, the assumptions includes the exemption for the first 100,000. It does not list the commercial exemption and the low income exemption here
Well,
because it doesn't affect the CPA surcharge.
it doesn't affect, especially not on single family residential.
right.
Yeah,
Commercial exemption,
Is
lack thereof.
commercial.
Exactly, does not affect single family residential.
but this we're saying elsewhere that if you're low income, you don't even have to pay this.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm now sort of talking to the average taxpayer who
This is the majority.
is the majority, or certainly is above area median income.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Reading median income is above area median income. Let's put it that way.
I think it would be nice to slide that box over and put another photograph there, some small photograph, just to make it more.
So- Well, we haven't, let's get back to page 13. I'm trying to finish off page 12. So I think if we rearrange that graph, or that table rather, keep calling it graph. The single family residential tax impact, it could go at the bottom of page 12, right? I'm not necessarily asking.
Does that mean that we're changing the order of the presentation?
Well, I think the current order is wrong, so yes. Well, I don't know. what-
So we're doing impact on taxes before the amount of revenue raised.
So, yeah, I mean, the next page can be a whole page on the, now, actually, though, I'm not sure about this second chart. So yeah, the idea here would be obviously to yeah. I see you trying that, Jackson. We could
Yeah,
probably
well,
just
then
that
go to
part
the
right
other
there.
page.
Yeah, no, just let it, I'm sure Mark's got this. Appreciate it. Okay, so are we agreed on page 12, which would have the single family table at the bottom under this text? Sure. Yeah, okay, cool. All right.
Okay,
Page 13.
So
So
again, the CPA effect on your tax bill.
that's now on the bottom of page 12 and go
Right.
shorter.
And so that chart is calculating out that we're gonna have $800,000 of annual.
Well, so yes, and
Cause
that's
it doesn't
not-
really reference, it doesn't reference the $97.79.
Wait, which chart are you looking at? Which on your page right now?
I was looking at this chart here.
Yeah, that is right.
And I think that's the wrong
that
chart to
goes-
put down there.
That
For that text.
Cause what this
oh,
narrative.
that text, okay, right, we're not running on the 12th, damn it. Sorry. Yeah, so that section, if non-exempt property owners paid a 1% surcharge, that paragraph belongs in the benefits and return on investment section. And a different paragraph belongs here about, which I don't know if this paragraph exists yet, maybe it doesn't. Honestly, we can just copy it from somewhere else. We've already written the summary. Yes. Like. All right, here's what I'm proposing for that paragraph. Because you're right, right now, never mind the graph. That subject heading and that paragraph don't go together.
Right, it's the CPA effect is on the tax revenue.
Yeah, so which is what the following section on the next page is about, so we'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, if we went back to, this is lazy but probably effective. On page 8, impact on property owners. There's text we can copy and paste. Right, they're at a 1% CPA surcharge, we can repeat that first sentence. I don't think we need to though, at some point this gets. Copy that sentence, and that sentence would be the sentence that goes before the.
All right, and so to Sandy's point, he was sort of saying that
that text goes with that heading and with the.
Right, that you know, that we probably wanna lead with the benefit, which is the $1 million. Before we
So-
get to the 9779.
I mean, okay,
Just
so
thinking out loud with the order, what order of presentation or content makes most sense? The intake process for the reader.
Right, it's better to have the good news than the bad.
so
news.
I mean,
What bad news, you want the good news?
so at this point, if you were reading this thing top to bottom, you would have covered the good news twice already. And also, I think, I mean, okay, so I can see the argument for giving the good news before the bad news. But I could also go back the other way and say, do I want to end with we're now like. And if we're not sure which of those two should go first, I would argue that the current structure is nice because it will fit on the page. And the next page can have text about the benefits. It probably doesn't need that table on the next page, but it would have the text about the benefits and it needs additional text about the amount of money raised.
Isn't that the text that Jackie just cut from the previous paragraph?
I mean, good news,
Just
we have
throw
it
that
in our
back in.
packet and so in other places, but yes. That is, and that, okay, so that text could be clobbered.
Somewhere in here, we should have a picture of a dog park.
So I am thinking that what page 13 needs now is neither of its existing tables. Maybe one smaller table that is just the burst. That is just wouldn't even have the property class column, it would just be surcharge collected, state match, total. I'm actually imagining grabbing that. Because this is, if we're just talking about the benefits of return on investment to Reading of CPA adoption. The whole table is useful for having a residential commercial conversation. It's not.
I'm gonna put it someplace else.
Yeah, no, the table will probably live on somewhere else, because somewhere there are gonna be people who are like, why are you not taxing commercial? We should answer that question too.
So you and I should spend more time on this page.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Okay,
let's move on.
okay, so Margaret and I have homework to fix the benefits page, putting in a table that fits and the text that we may or may not just plot.
All right,
All right.
let's move to 14.
Page 14.
So something that occurred to me, Joe, on the second section on page 14,
Are we just looking at that? Go on.
mandated minimum distribution to community projects. I guess what I wanted to do somewhere, either in the title or the body of that paragraph, is to talk about the balance being discretionary as to where it goes.
Isn't that the last sentence? This leaves the bulk of total revenues each year to be used to reserve for projects in any category?
At the discretion of town meeting.
I mean, yeah, yes.
Add those words.
Just. Yeah, I mean, we haven't actually, later we talk about the mechanism by which projects get approved. If you want to bring the mechanism in, I think we can. It's fine.
I don't think it hurts.
Sure. All right.
Just where.
The other nice thing is like whenever you two guys agree, I listen because.
Good point.
It counts for something.
If me and Karen agree on something, you better mark that date in the calendar.
right, so I better be paying attention, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough.
Because that certainly was a question that people asked us at our various
Yep.
presentations.
Yes, and we'll get to it later,
Besides.
but it is a point
Mhm.
for the meeting. Fair, okay.
The very last sentence in the last paragraph.
Preserve.
These resulting enrichment.
Okay, yeah, first that not grammar good. But also,
Projects, enrichment developments or projects,
Plural.
or the resulting enrichment.
I think it needs to be plural, these resulting enrichments ultimately
Yeah.
increase property.
that's fine, yeah.
Okay. And I also love the expression of saying in a stronger sense of place. I don't know if you've used that elsewhere, but
I want to say we maybe got that from somebody else, but it's a good phrase.
well, when I did the If This House Could Talk project, that's sort of like one of the themes of doing it, giving you the more knowledge you have of your community and, you know, the things, and the more getting out and mingling with people increases your sense of place.
So do you want to add that to that last sentence?
I would, because it's
that's-
not just about increasing property values, it's also, you know,
Ultimately to increase property values.
In
and a stronger sense of place
And a stronger sense of place.
and a stronger sense of place.
Can I go to the first sentence in that paragraph?
Oh, I see, quality of life.
give residents twice.
Okay.
So
Oh,
resident,
Reading residents.
yeah, it was probably.
Whoops, there's a little
Also,
boo-boo.
that phrasing, I'm gonna like
Without.
channel Carlo here and say it's not without requiring town funds, it's requiring less town funds. That's not the same.
That was my point. Can I propose
Please
some
do.
wording? With an efficient mix of local and partial matching state funds.
Oh, so
Ooh,
we'll
that's
enhance the
nice.
quality of life for residents, so not requiring town funds, but instead.
With an efficient mix of local and partial matching state funds. Partial state contributions.
No, the partial matching funds is fine.
Okay.
Sorry, it's an efficient mix of,
With an efficient mix of local and partial matching state funds, is that right?
There we go. Should that?
Yeah,
Take
but
those time. Yeah,
Yeah, town funds. And then do we, hold on, I'm gonna look at that last phrase. It's carrying a lot. I want to make sure it holds up.
I was gonna say the adjective you hear now is elevated. You could say an elevated sense of place.
And I wonder if it's not the likelihood of future tax overrides, but the amount of future tax overrides, the volume.
I mean, it's the two, of course, are, you know, you can have more small overrides or, I mean, the money's fungible like that. But yeah,
I think covering it, yeah, the one time that we covered it already is fine.
yeah, I think. Yeah, and I don't wanna over or undersell.
Impact of future tax overrides.
I mean, so if we want to stay on this point but be precise, we could say lessening the size or frequency of future tax overrides.
Or just the impact of.
Okay, that's probably right. Frequency?
Size or frequency, yes. Okay, and you know, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what, this is over the long, especially because we're thinking long-term here. I'm not talking about like, is this gonna change the size of the override that's on the ballot in November 2026? Most likely. But over the long term, residents will be, you know, clamoring less for us to spend free cash on, you know, whatever the fastest growing sport in America in the 2040s is.
Pickleball, still pickleball.
It's still pickleball, okay, all right.
But yes, you get my point, that it is gonna make whatever it is we need to pay for in the future cheaper. Therefore, we aren't gonna blow as much free cash, therefore, we are gonna need smaller or less frequent overrides. Okay, I'm willing to stand by that sentence. I want to convince myself, you know, that I could, because I expect that we will be challenged. on
Okay,
that.
so I just want to do a time check.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, I'm happy to go further, but.
Yeah, I gotta tap out soon. I gotta actually make some phone calls, believe it or not. People are still awake.
And we have to do minutes and we have to pick another meeting time.
All right. Ugh, this is gonna be multiple January meetings before our report is done, which is fine. But I think you're right, that we are,
Making good progress.
Should we
also
give
might have to find
ourselves
someone
like
to go with.
20 more minutes on this and then wrap it up?
I don't have 20 more minutes. I was gonna tap out at 9:30 because I gotta make some phone calls for people who are waiting for me to call. But
Okay.
you guys are free to, I trust you guys. You wanna keep going a little
Yeah,
bit?
well,
That's
it won't be,
fine.
right, it's not gonna be, obviously, we're not done, and if you spot something. sort of-
Yeah, I know. You guys have been doing way more than me, so I really appreciate it. Trust me. I'm just trying to be the
All right,
the negative.
Yeah, so let's-
Nelly in the room.
let's give ourselves 20 more minutes max, and then that makes sure we wrap up and get out of here before 10. I think that's.
So on this page, Barbara just had a quick question. 11 column, community initiated project proposals, last sentence. It just struck me as strange. Not that I know differently. On page 14.
14. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Still back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the whole paragraph? I mean, the
That
heading
was the
or
last sentence, a community initiated project proposals, last sentence, town meeting must be consistent. With it just,
Oh,
Hmm.
no, that's correct. So, I believe the way this works is the CPA funds can only be spent by having a community preservation committee with its mandated membership of planning and conservation and whatnot. Makes a recommendation to town meeting, and then that recommendation is approved. Town meeting can't come along and be like,
you spend money on this.
yeah, they can't, exactly, they can't go and just spend the CPA money on something else that wasn't approved by that community preservation committee.
So
They
they
can
can
re- they can
reduce
re-
the amount.
they could reduce
but
it.
They can't
they can
come up
reject.
with.
They could reduce it, but they can't just make up a whole new, someone can't just make up a project on the floor of town meeting, or for that matter, even bring it to the town meeting, like, put it on the warrant that way or whatever.
So can they completely reject? Because that's not an option.
Yeah, no, I can see how must be consistent with makes it sound like they can't say no, and they can't say no. So
Yeah.
they can say no.
I think so.
So,
Somehow it seemed overstated to me. Not
Yeah,
that-
no, I get what
not that
you're saying.
know exactly the way it has to be, but.
Or refuse to fund them?
yes,
Because they cannot be inconsistent?
I would say maybe something like town meeting may approve, decline, or reduce the size of CPC project or recommended CPC projects.
And I like that model a lot better.
Can you take that whole other sentence out before it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the
Okay,
idea.
good.
So
Is it the size or the funding?
exactly. Well, yeah, we can pick a different word besides size. The amount of funding for.
Okay,
Put the
For a
word
safety
for.
project.
Recommended
Oh.
for, well, no, for recommended,
Not-
actually recommended CPC projects is, it would be for recommended because we're talking, a recommended CPC project is something that came out of the, is a project that came out of the CPC. Like, the
Yeah,
CPC
it can't get, I would suspect it can't get to town meeting without having come through CPC.
Exactly what we're saying. It has to come to. I mean,
so it should end on funding, amount of funding, period.
In the middle of that, Jackie, who's that?
Uh,
Jackie it says CP.
Oh,
That paragraph.
that's correct.
Oh,
The Community Preservation Fund.
fine. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
I can
And
see
there
what.
are places where we say CPA funding.
Okay.
But I was confused by that and I
Okay.
I think you dug into it, all right.
reread it a couple of times
alright,
to get the
so-
point.
Um,
Well, could they also increase? I mean, if we're gonna say decline, reduce, approve. So I guess it,
Can I increase it? I don't actually know if that's a thing.
I'm not sure.
okay, all right. Like not just one dog park, but two.
Yeah, but they don't know how much the CPC committee has available funding potentially when they're doing their vote.
Yeah,
Or the CP, the CPC committee, I mean,
Right.
and
My,
then I'm not even sure, like if they voted for a reduction, it may not make the project viable, so in which case.
right.
did it by
Yeah.
skip. Yeah, right, which, I mean, that's a,
That one I think I should look in.
yeah, double check
check.
what town meeting's allowed to do there.
Yeah.
I mean, what's
Yeah.
makes sense, that of course doesn't guarantee that it's law. But,
Yeah.
As,
Why don't we just take off that whole last sentence and Margaret can look into it and see if we should add something or not. But for
Yeah,
now,
I'll probably reach out to Chase and ask him.
yeah,
There's a lot of guidance on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather make sure we're on solid footing.
now.
okay. Next paragraph looks good. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll,
Have a good holiday season, everyone.
Thank you.
That is our tennis court from Reading, right?
Yep, that was from Sarah.
This is
Okay,
renovation. Birch
no, Sarah
Meadow.
sent these, yeah.
No, I don't think I sent that one. I think that's a Kate.
Kate, somebody,
Yeah, these look like.
I didn't make 'em up.
Birch Meadow phase two.
Yeah, yep. I don't know if it matters, but the one that I sent of the opening of the Laurel Hill Cemetery, the curbing that you can see on the left side when you're going in, I think it was 2 years ago, the Cemetery Commission came to the Historical Commission. They had a lot of curbing that was had been pushed out from the freeze and thaw cycle, and it was crumbling. And they wondered if the Historic Commission had funds to replace curbing, or if we knew of how to get funds since the cemetery is on the historical register. But we didn't. And so I don't know how they ended up funding it, but if you do walk up in the cemetery, you can see that whole left side all the way up and around. They've replaced all the curbing. And so that's the kind of maintenance that, things like that will happen time to time. So that's why I kind of wanted to get that picture,
because I didn't add that little narrative on page 90, on page 93, on page 23.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
Cool.
Under the preservation of the historic cemeteries,
Yeah.
and maybe you want me to swap out the picture that I had, which is just of the stones. But and I can.
No. I just wanted you guys to know, just because if somebody says a cemetery can be historical,
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely.
Yeah.
That one's.
Yeah,
Not controversial. All right, we were on CPA concentrates. Margaret, you highlighted the 3% thing.
I just wanted to make sure, because I had thought we had talked about it being 5%, but I went and pulled the charter, and the charter, and at least on the website said 3%.
So the 3% is the number needed. Well, no, hold on. Actually, wait, I thought. Hold
Are we
on.
confusing getting it to town meeting versus?
No, I actually looked in the referendum section of the town charter.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, but that's not, this is in the state law, I think.
5% petition.
Yeah,
To get
I
it on-
can't find
Get
it.
it on the ballot.
Well, you notice the one next down below says cannot be repealed for 5 years. That's in the state law. And the one up above, we're just altering the amount.
So page 13 of the charter.
Yeah, but that is, okay, now I gotta find my source again. Preservation.org. can't find it in the state law, but I thought. Okay, well, we need to check on this again because I thought that 3% was. So 3% is significant because representative town meeting, this is about representative town meeting, is that? This is about everything, because of representative town meeting, this is New England. Representative town meeting is just a stand-in for an open town meeting. Yes, this is about being able to overturn town meeting votes. The voters have the power under the charter to overturn any town meeting vote by filing a petition with 3% of voters within whatever business days, I forget. 7 business days. And I can't remember if we changed that when we just revised the charter just now or not.
Why would that be relevant?
It's not.
Oh.
That's the problem. It's relevant in the sense of it is a way in which you have a petition and then we have an election. It is, however, not the way we have a petition and we have this election. I think for this, I'm trying to find it, but like I want to say it's
But
Oh, maybe that's why the number we originally had was 1,000 signatures.
yeah.
And then what Margaret had in her thing was 3% and therefore 635 signatures, which feels more reachable.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Is this a thing we could look up later?
yeah,
Not
it is.
on
9:36.
not with 10 minutes left of our time.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it had been
Yeah, I did just find it on community preservation where it says the petition must be signed by 5%.
Right, so I have the number of voters, so it's 5% of that voters, which is
Yeah.
21,000, so it'll be a little bit over.
Yeah, that's
And that is to get it on the ballot and also to repeal it? What about to adjust the amount? It's always
I think
5%.
so.
Or you go through.
Or maybe a town meeting. Yes, town meeting says yes, then 3% of voters could have petitioned him. But like at this point, that's why don't they just get 5% of voters and put it on the ballot? Anyway, all right, back to the report. Trying to get to the end of this page at least.
Yes.
So are we happy with this page now?
Yeah, so
And 16, that is a really picture too. Don't know where. I mean, if I have a better one, it's not my.
Oh, that's,
town forest environmental.
yeah, it's fair enough.
All right,
I'm hoping Andrew will give me better photos.
yeah,
Kind of fuzzy.
but we'll replace that one.
And I don't think we have a strong enough front cover, but I had to put something there.
Okay,
Otherwise
there's
it's gonna
a
be
spare bullet in the third bullet down doesn't belong there.
Sure.
Or it has to be.
It does, it has to be
moved up
adjusted. It goes with qualifying seniors and income
Oh,
eligible residents.
okay, so it has to go up by
Right,
one
it's in the
row.
wrong places, that's all.
Fix that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
And so we didn't get, I mean, Sandy had a really good, maybe, you know, and I had hunted it around the warrant, you know, what are we putting into the report? So the report actually has the warrant of how to set up the CPA committee. And I think we don't want to go
No.
there.
that one was anti-recommended by people.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like, we're definitely not doing that.
But I do think, and I don't know if we want to put the language in as it relates to the warrant for the referendum question,
I mean, the ballot.
the ballot question.
Yeah, I mean, the ballot gets 2 steps down the line. So I had plucked from the website.
And then I sent that to Jackie to send
Yeah,
out
and
a
it
packet.
went around, there was the sample warrant article, a sample town meeting motion, and a sample ballot question. all of which would be relevant if the process plays out. And I think at least the first two, it would, in my view anyway, it'd be nice to include them as an appendix, sort of reference in place of what's referenced there. So that people can actually say, oh, if I want this to go forward, this is the form in which it would go forward, recommending it. And so when it's in front of the selectmen, they can say, okay, we want to send this warrant article with the town meeting, and then with the anticipation that the motion in front of town meeting would take the form and they can actually see it. I just think it gives weight to everything that we're trying to get up to the next step, is to put it in form. And we could even fill out our the exemption, the surcharge, and the fiscal year date that it would start, consistent with our recommendations.
Yeah.
And does motions usually get, like, would town council review some of this
Oh,
stuff?
absolutely, yeah.
Because that, to me, is like, I would be really nervous to put something in the report.
That's the caveat, or the little, when you
That-
say, there's a sample attached,
You have to put subject to,
Right,
review.
to be,
and-
Yeah.
Because I
to
just,
advising
because if
counsel.
somebody just pulls out that page and
Absolutely.
it hasn't been looked at town council.
I think I said that.
Okay. So I'm coming around to the idea. Like I would say initially, my thought was, I don't want to put more of the report than we have to, but I do like what you're saying about, like, here is the motion, like, here is the warrant, like, at a minimum, here is the warrant article in motion that
Yeah.
we would be asking the select board to move forward.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think we should say well, first, like, we're not going to unilaterally submit a warrant article to the moderator, whatever. I guess we have to submit it to the select board, and the select board has to pass it through. I don't know. We're asking the select board to do it. Because, we'd like to do this the easy way, not the hard way. Sure. But we can, so this committee that we're copying from has already gone ahead and the situation was, the thing to do was just to submit the warrant article themselves. Maybe they had a different charge that made that more straightforward, like that was expected of them. So I wouldn't say that, but then, we could include, right, the actual text in the appendix or something.
Yeah, because if you go to the appendix, or there's a whole section that I felt like the whole section that talks about what the
Bylaw and so forth, like, no, we don't.
So what I was saying, I think, I didn't have substitute language, what was crossed out here, but you could say,
Yes.
attached as exhibit A is a sample.
I wouldn't,
Yeah,
it wouldn't go in the big purple text, but I think possibly at the bottom, maybe below the bullets, we could have a sample warrant article and motion that included in the appendix, or included in the appendix.
sentence introducing.
Yeah, you'd say, no, just the sentence here would be a sample warrant article and motion have been included in the appendix.
Yeah.
Do that big,
And then either there and or in the appendix to add some words saying, this is just a sample and needs to,
sure,
reviewed by town council.
sure. But in here, it would just be, I was thinking not in the big purple, just in the, like, below the bulleted list. Yeah. Like a sample, or a sample, because here we're saying what the question would specify, and here we
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, good
a
place
sample
for
is
it.
included, yeah. Right, like, we've given you a summary of it, and you can look at the appendix to see the full suggested text or a full sample.
Then do we want to fill in the blanks?
Yeah, we would
Okay.
totally fill in the blanks.
Okay.
And I think we can do that right now. I'm not right now. Right now, I think we should move on with the agenda because it's 9:44.
Okay.
And we are at 19 of our 20 allowed minutes. I don't want to start a conversation. So. All right, taking so much time, so. All right, yeah. All right, future meetings and agendas. We gotta talk about that, because we're gonna have a few more, at this pace, we are gonna need a couple more meetings, like at least 2. So. My calendar. So, I think it's safe to say December is toast at this point because holidays. Yeah. All right.
I'm traveling the first week of January,
You are traveling the first week of January. All right.
from the 2nd to the 7th.
So the 12th? January
I
12th?
mean, it doesn't have to be a Monday, just to point that out. I could start earlier if it's not a Monday, actually. Get
Okay.
started at 7 instead of 7:30. Actually, at this rate, I will go ahead and say we do this on Monday. We should start at 7 anyway, so it works better.
Yeah, Yep.
Because we're trying not to, yeah.
So when does budget season start up for you, Joe?
Late February. So.
I can do January 12th.
So I'm just wondering if we want to do 2 meetings that week.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
it's brutal.
Yeah, can we do the 12th and the 13th? No?
Well, when's the select board meeting? We don't want to compete with that. That
Not
might
that
be,
week,
not that week.
the 6th and the 27th of January.
If we reserved the 13th in case we don't get through it all on the 12th, and we just keep going on to the 13th.
I mean, there's also something to be said for being able to stop at, 9 or something. People, let people go home. So, the 12th and the. That's horrific, but also, yeah. Because that would actually, if we were trying to get this before the select board. I assume the select board meets on the 20th, they're meeting on the 6th.
27th,
Oh, interesting, 6th, 27th, you said.
because there was the extra week in January. We were trying to not schedule it on the heels of the holiday the week before.
Okay, oh, okay, right, because you have the 19th is the holiday, so yeah, I get that, okay. Oh, interesting, all right, well, that's actually,
That would mean if if we present, this is what happens after 9:30.
exactly, this is why, this is unfortunately why we're gonna need more meetings, we can't just power through.
So is our goal, if we were to make it to the 27th meeting, are we expecting them to have read the report before we show up with questions, or are we just presenting them the final report? Because if we actually want them to have read it, then it would need to be done by
It would be distributed in their packet on the 22nd.
on the 22nd.
Okay. Is that January or February?
Yeah, January.
And I
Awesome.
won't get the weekend to do it. So it physically would need to be done in their packets on the 22nd. And so that would mean that we'd have to go through more rounds of revisions and then a final review.
Well, let me ask, is the report necessarily final when it goes to them?
I think we need a final
Yeah,
report.
I wanna.
I'm just saying, maybe,
I mean, so
something that might be considered final, but maybe we want to take it with it after we go to them.
I would
No.
I would prefer to give, yeah, it feels a little bit amateurish to be like, oh,
When's
And I don't want
When's the
to,
next-
and then I don't
we are
want
literally amateurs.
to, and
We are
I
not
want it to
being
be
paid.
a final product of this committee
So when's the next?
and not be
meeting?
subject to input or further direction
That's
or
the other thing.
the whim of the,
If we come to them and we say, this is not the final report,
They, and if it's almost final, you leave the door open for them to dictate changes to it.
Between
So
then and
when's the
10th.
next meeting after the 27th?
Or before we declare it final.
February tenth, February 10th.
February 10th, okay. So that's our backup.
Yeah, well, and I mean, we don't, it's not a sure thing that we get on the agenda. It sounds like I should reach out to the select board chair and ask about potentially getting on the agenda for the 27th.
And if not, the 10th.
And if not the 10th,
And,
exactly.
and, you know, I
And that be dependent on whether or not we actually get to, a final product by the 22nd.
I mean, if we ask to be on the agenda on the 27th, we are committing to have a final product by then, which is also when we said we wanted to have a final product. So
Because Jameson meetings.
I don't think we're gonna make it.
you don't think we're gonna make it?
So should we
All right.
just ask for the 10th?
I think we should, because I think
Okay.
it's two things. We're gonna need the report and then we're also gonna need a presentation and
Yeah.
granted, we have the presentations that we've done with the committees, which are good beginning places, but it's.
Yeah, I would wanna do, I would,
This is very much different.
yeah, I would wanna do a presentation that is a sort of synopsis of
The report, yeah, so I think we've got to, so that's to me, I agree with that. And that's why I feel like trying to jam it all in for the 27th is just, I think
Yeah.
that's just too much, and we wanna, I mean, this is our our moment.
We've been working on it. We have put a lot of work into this.
We have to have our moment.
So
It's
do
also
we?
you behind the curtain of work, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
No,
just.
no,
If
yeah.
one of the rest of us said we can't make the 22nd, I'd say, if you say we can't make the 22nd, then we're done.
No, I mean, it's, I think it's the combination of the report and the presentation. And
No, I think you make an excellent point there, yeah.
So no matter how awkward it feels to go for 2 nights in a row, I think we really ought to schedule for the 12th and the 13th. So that we
Yeah.
work our way through pages 15 to 25 on the 12th and 25 to the end on the 13th. And we've gone through the whole packet.
How long is the report? I feel like it's longer.
It's like at least page 30.
It goes long.
Well, the end pages have like the 5 or 6 pages of the,
Okay, that's
other
still,
communities,
that's
which
still
again is-
40 something.
yeah. I mean, but these I mean, again, I.
Okay, yeah, right, there's, right, we're not gonna need to revise the appendices.
No, right,
But yeah, still.
So
but
as
I would
said,
agree, that's why I was
Still
thinking,
thinking
you know,
2 nights in a row.
and it could,
Work our way through, we quit at 9 o'clock, we keep going.
Yeah.
Finish.
I mean, we could do the 8th and the
9 or
12th, I'm back on the 7th. You know, we could do the 8th or the 12th, we could do the 12th or the 13th.
Yeah,
8th is a Thursday.
The 8th works fine for me. What's on the town hall calendar that night? Any idea? Like, is that there, the committee's meeting on the 8th?
All the rooms are open.
All right, so I do wonder if it would,
Have we lost Sarah?
No, I'm here. I'm just waiting for you guys to
Yeah.
settle.
I
so-
would rather not do the 8th, but if all the rest of you can be here on the 8th, go for it.
Is the 8th, are we talking January 8th?
yes, every day we're talking about is January here, except for
Okay.
February.
I can do the 8th.
The thing about the 8th is that it
Oh, I
puts,
can't do the 8th.
oh, okay,
Looking at my work calendar.
all right, okay.
Okay.
Is, what happened to the
Never
12th and the 13th?
Well, the problem with 12th and 13th is they're next to each other, but
I
that's
think that's good.
okay. I mean, it means there's not an opportunity for doing anything awfully between meetings, if there wasn't.
That's all right. I mean, we're in the home stretch.
All right,
And the intent was not to revise and relook at the pages. With the idea of meeting 2 days in a row is we look at a bunch of pages and then we look at the rest of the pages.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do 3 hours on one night, we can do 2 hours and an
and then
hour.
we will need one more meeting between those two and February 10th to go over a presentation.
Well, 2 more meetings, one to accept the final report.
Right, well, that's true. One to accept the final report and go, can we do that in one meeting?
And then
I don't know.
I
Okay.
think we're gonna have it. The presentation's gonna get around a bit.
What-
Do we need to calendar those other dates now? Or should we?
We should.
Okay.
If we can, yeah. I think that's fair.
And are we going to 7 o'clock now, or are we sticking with 7:30? I don't care, I just wanna know what date, what time I'm putting in my calendar.
All right,
How long are we commissioned to be a committee until?
I think next May, isn't it?
May.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay,
basically, let's go through town
Town
meeting,
meeting.
okay.
town meeting change.
And I think our goal should be done by January 30th. Both with the report and the presentation. Because if we're going on the 10th, it has to be in the package of February 5th, I assume. So then we have a couple of extra days, but, so I would say the 12th and 13th, and then we should be looking at the the 19th is the holiday.
I really don't like it, but I'm afraid everybody's gonna make something they don't like. It's, starting at 7 on the 12th, we can do that though. And then, because I don't, for doing these, we really want to get through all of it in those 2 days, so.
So 7 o'clock for
7
those two
o'clock on the
meetings.
12th and the 13th.
Okay. All right, and then are you looking at the 20th for your next meeting?
Maybe the 26th.
I can make that work. I might be a little late on the 20th if we start at 7.
20th, the 20th, I will be traveling for work, but I've dialed into these from California before, I can do it again.
Can you dial in at 7 o'clock our time, or is that too early to get out of work from?
I'll be able to get out of it.
Would 7:30 be better? 7:30 would be better for me.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, twist my arm.
On Tuesday or on both days?
Tuesday, the 20th, I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, I mean, now we're doing this and losing another. Okay. We're looking at 7:30 on the 20th.
Then can we book the 26th and the 2nd at 7:30
26th.
and
Okay.
February 2nd? And maybe we can cancel February 2nd as our motivation to do good work on the 26th.
I'm almost tempted not to book the 22nd as like stronger motivation, or not to book the 2nd, sorry, as a stronger motivation to get it done, because we won't have it'll be even more inconvenient for us to book a meeting at the last minute.
12, 13, we doing 20?
Yeah, we've got 12, 13, 20, and 26.
Okay, are 20 and 26 at 7 or 7:30?
7:30 for 20 and 26. I guess we're committing to the 7 o'clock start for the
On Mondays?
report ultra marathon. And then for the 12th and 13th, and then 7:30 for the 20th and the 26th. It does work better. Both of those do work better for me, 7:30.
And then, it's going to be helpful to me to have the long weekend to turn around any final edits.
That's true.
So.
All right. Yeah, I'll still aim to have a draft presentation at the meeting on the 20th. Hopefully the 20th will be at that point, we'll have all seen everything.
Yeah.
And it'll be a more cursory look over and, we'll find a couple more typos or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
So what are you projecting to be the agenda, just out of curiosity, for the 20th and the 26th?
so the 20th would be final sign off on the report and initial review of the presentation. And the 26th would be final review of the presentation.
Okay.
Does wish it's too much.
Right, I had a few minor typos. I took a picture of my notes because I didn't type them into an email. I will email it to the two of you.
Yep.
And that will be a few other things that we don't have to discuss in the meeting if they also can be fixed.
All right.
And they are just little grammar typos, nothing important. Substantive, nothing substantive.
Should I get you a few more pictures, Margaret, as fillers for things of different stuff?
Sure. I'm still looking for a good cover photo. I
Yeah.
sent the report over to Andrew Nickel
Okay.
to see if he could, I'd asked him to see, there's like a nice kind of aerial picture from
Right, like a nice aerial picture
downtown, right,
would
is
be-
what I'm looking for. And the website, I'm good about stealing things from the website. But it has like all of the little bumps of the cutouts for the buttons that you push to go in. And I know we have to have the photo somewhere, and I even paid to get one out of Shutterstock, but it didn't scale right.
Oh.
And then it felt like it was too much of the church, and I didn't want to put the church on the front. I did put the church someplace else in the report, but there was this rule about church and state.
But the church is historical.
Yeah.
I liked the ones from the street fair. I think I sent you two, but I mean, I could send you some other ones because they capture like the flag that says Reading. I don't know, just because.
Yeah, I'll go back and look at it again, what you said.
Yeah, I can also pull up some from the 375th just to show another, like en masse,
But I'm gonna guess Andrew will be able to help me. I know he
Okay.
was out today.
Okay.
Of that one, but of the like, I'm really looking for the killer cover one, but the ones
Right.
that it would be great to have elsewhere.
Okay. Yep.
Someplace in the report, it talks about community gardens, and I bet I could get Chuck Tironi to send
that's
a
good.
picture if he
That's
took
a
a
great
community
idea.
gardens
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
I haven't got one, but he very likely might. Are there other open space pictures you're looking for? Cause I sent you a couple, like the Millet Soms Morgan.
Yeah, which I did put in.
Yeah, I saw that. It's in the part that we may not include, but.
Yeah.
But I don't know what
But
else.
then I can pull it someplace else. I thought it was a really good picture.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one. But if there
Maybe
are
a
other
picture
pictures-
of that beautiful handicapped bird watching station, the handicapped accessible at Bear Meadow. That's really pretty.
The Bear Meadow picture?
The Bear Meadow with
The
where,
accessible Zoom platform.
Yeah, the platform.
yeah, the platform that, because I love the way they used wires for, the, oh God, not the railings, the spindles, so that it didn't interrupt the view. It was really pretty.
Right.
All right,
Let's look at minutes. I mean, yes.
All right.
All right,
A motion,
sure, gonna. Date you're looking for is December 1st.
December 1st.
Yeah.
Make a motion for that. We accept the minutes. from our-
Wait, I just have my name
First.
spelled wrong under recurring item. It says Berkelocchio, just right there.
Nope. See, that's why we actually look at this.
Yeah. Let's go down to where it says, yeah, recurring item. Right there. Thank you. And then it should say shared sum, right? Or an example. Okay. Wait. Okay. Yeah.
Some example CPA projects.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay, good. We have a motion, have a second. I'm debating whether I want to find better wording than political animosity.
Where's that?
They're not wrong. It's near the bottom of page 2. It's a discussion of the commercial exemption.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find the right way to.
Friction? Maybe friction.
Yeah, citing difficulties keeping it in both.
Flipping it around and saying consensus.
Well, that's sort of not the, so it says the consensus was to exempt it entirely, citing difficulties keeping business downtown, and generating a lot of,
Ill will,
political.
no ill.
Well, you know what, friction is good, I like friction, I think that's. Cause that's undesirable when you want things to move smoothly, but it's not.
Doesn't have-
I would
yeah,
I would
doesn't
like
have the
to,
negativity.
you know, right, exactly, I mean, not to pretend that there's no such thing as negativity in politics. But I don't really wanna necessarily like endorse it for this or whatever, like. I don't wanna dwell on it, I don't believe it has to be implemented.
Or complication.
I would be fine with complication, if people have a preference.
I'd stick with friction.
I don't care.
Choose Joe.
Oh, come on,
Friction it is.
Friction
Yeah.
is. Leave us
Gonna
friction.
say, you're the
Friction is fine.
chair.
Everything is complicated, friction is worse. All right. Cool, so then I guess the motion is actually to approve the minutes as amended. Yes,
I shall make that motion.
Second that,
all right, cool.
Roll call.
All right, let's vote. Sarah,
Yes, yes.
okay, Margaret,
Yes.
Martha.
yes,
Sandy.
Yes.
And Joe, yes.
Okay, well, now we have to adjourn.
no,
Oh.
just quickly. Karen sent me a copy of the thing about putting warrant articles on the town meeting and the Board of Selectmen shall place on such warrants all subjects submitted by B, any board or committee, CD. So they don't get a choice of whether to put it on.
Even more importantly, it says any two members of the select board.
That's A.
All right,
Any
so
two members can put it on, or any board or committee can put it on.
All right, so
There's-
moving
there's-
forward.
There's,
so yeah, no, it's going to town meeting. I mean, it was going to town meeting before. 10 signatures is also not hard.
Right.
That's like everybody here, you know, and
And a spouse.
many, but not even all of our spouses, yes, would do it.
Okay, but just since Karen sent that,
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. That's relevant to our discussion about means of adoption.
it's Article 16 of the charter.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, Article 6, that sounds like a bylaw,
Article-
actually.
2.13.
Okay, in the charter, yes, Article, section, whatever. Section 2 of the charter is town meeting stuff. So yeah, that shows.
Amended in 2004.
Okay, motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All right, well, Margaret has made the motion,
Oh,
Sandy
I
has seconded.
okay.
Sorry. Not debatable. Sarah,
Yes, yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes,
Sandy.
Oh, Sandy wants to say.
Oh, yes. No, Sandy was actually waiting for me to call his name, which I appreciate. That's kind of how roll calls work, I thought. All right, that's good.
Oh, I think he really wanted to stay longer.
I mean, and I don't
Geez.
love having to come back for 8 zillion more meetings, but.